Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us once again. I'm Laura Jewett with the Inspired Living Real Estate Collective, and today I have the great pleasure of meeting with Suzanne and Jamie, with the co-founders of StyleHouse Home Staging and Redesign. We get the special pleasure of having kind of a behind the scenes look at what goes into staging and learn all about the benefits of staging. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
us so much.
So I guess before we get into what StyleHouse is and who you guys are, just tell us what staging is. As a, for those of us who don't know, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what it is. What is staging?
We would say concisely, staging is marketing. It is now a product to be marketed, your home and your property, and we're going to market. We're going to present it best to the market, to the new clients.
That's right. Sometimes when a home seller decides to put their home on the market, they've lived there, right, for 5, 10, 30 years.
A lot of emotions.
A lot of emotions. Yeah. And so even it's a mindset. It starts with a mindset, helping them understand that this is now going to be a product to be marketed. And so home staging is a strategy. It's a real estate strategy, a marketing strategy that helps them showcase their property at its very best. There's a lot that's involved in doing that. If it's an owner-occupied home, then there's always a consultation first, walking through the home with the home seller and just moving them to action, helping them understand how to showcase their home at its best. And then a vacant property is like the vacant property we're sitting in right now, is just showcasing all of the fixed assets, the beautiful fixed assets of the home, and getting a potential buyer. We want to drive buyers in.
Absolutely, and kind of showcasing the best uses of different spaces.
Exactly.
And yeah, that makes total sense. It's amazing. So what is StyleHouse, and how long you've been in business? And
kind of a funny story. You want to start and I'll finish?
So we have been in business. We're in our 7th year together. We actually had another business together, a small business together. And what we found that we liked, a couple of things. We found we weren't making what we wanted to make, and it became too much work for the profits. And we just said, what is it that we love about what we're doing? Repurposing furniture. It is about the merchandising. It's about setting it together, making vignettes and putting things together. About the same time, my brother was getting ready to sell his home and asked me, would you put this together? Would you stage this? And I did, and I loved it. Jamie and I were talking one day, and she said, what could we do? We love working together, right? Like that was it. Like we loved working together, and how can we move forward? What might that look like? And I was away on vacation, actually, and she called and said, hey, I found this certification. Let's do staging. We had a realtor friend who had asked us, have you ever thought about that? And we, maybe this is it. I think that was in June and July. We had signed up for our certification, opened our business. Here we are.
Hit the ground running.
And we haven't stopped learning. Like that certification was only the beginning. We have just continued to be educated this whole time. We'll be at the conference next weekend. So.
But there's always so much to learn in this
industry. Much. Yeah. And the thing is we started and it was just the two of us. And occasionally our husbands would help us fluffing furniture and doing all of that. And we have now grown into a team of 6 and getting ready to hire our 7th. And so it's just, we're blessed. We have an amazing team, and we just love doing what we're doing and learning and growing.
Well, I think that's testament to the fact that staging is a proven marketing strategy.
It is.
And that there is a need for it in our real estate market. So, I think your growth is testament to that. So do you have any statistics or anything that kind of showcases what the power of staging can do?
Well, we know one is that less than 10% of buyers can actually visualize a home that is empty, right? It will appear smaller if there is no furniture. There are those tricky places where they're not sure exactly like, what would I do with that space? And if they can't understand, if they're confused, they're going to move on. And so that's super helpful to understand and to set
Make
up and stage.
Very clear.
Yeah. And then when we're talking about occupieds, right? Living is so different than selling your property.
Yes.
And like we said, there's an emotional connection. And when I got ready to sell mine, Jamie came in and did a consultation for me. And it was like, well, I actually like that light fixture. What's wrong with that light fixture?
Getting an outside perspective.
Outside perspective. What is today's buyer looking for? And just helping them function and flow of each room, setting it back to a dining room instead of a playroom. So there's much that goes into presenting.
Well, I think it's, when we live in a space for so long, we become blind to certain things. I mean, there could be a box sitting in the corner for 2 years and we don't see it anymore.
And that's okay.
So, yes, I think having that outside perspective of just, again, somebody that's neutral, that's coming in from a buyer perspective of like how do we maximize the space and make it look its best.
Right. Another statistic is over 86% of agents recognize that home staging is effective.
I'm surprised it's so low.
I know, right?
It should be 100.
Well, there are those ones who still aren't on board. They don't see. And so we always tell our home sellers, if you don't have a realtor, we know amazing realtors who believe in it, who do it, and who understand that it is marketing, and that's what a home seller has hired their agent for, right?
Absolutely.
To sell their home and to market it.
To market it, yes. And, I think there's statistically homes that are staged typically sell for faster and
more money. Yes.
Well, so.
And it's proven. We see it every day. We follow everyone. We stage. We see the benefit. We see the proof. It's in the money and the over ask price. The market has shifted a little bit. And so they're sitting just a little bit longer, but they're still getting sold in a timely manner. And the ones that are not presenting well are really sitting.
Absolutely. So, yeah, especially when the market shifts like this, when things aren't selling quite as quickly, it's even that more crucial.
It is. And staging is really for a buyer's market or a seller's market. It's effective in either one.
Absolutely.
It's an investment. And
I think that's an important term. It's an investment in the sale of your home.
Right. And it isn't as much as some people think. And some people think that home staging is really for vacant properties. And they don't, even some realtors don't see how a home staging professional can come in and help them with their occupied listing.
That's a good point as well.
And then helping them understand, right? Staging is an investment, and it's a lot lower than your first price reduction, right?
That's a really great point. If you invest in a little bit of staging, not only you're showcasing your house better, typically again sell quicker and for more money, but you're reducing, a lot of that stress that goes along with sitting on the market, having continual showings, always having to, put the dish away. Yeah, the carrying costs, put the dishes away, rush around the house trying to get things ready for showings, and to reduce a lot of that stress and anxiety through the selling process.
Selling a home is very stressful. It's very stressful, and sometimes home sellers just don't know where to start and what to do.
It's overwhelming.
It really is. And it's not always they're not always up leveling, right? They're not always moving into their dream home. Maybe they're downsizing. Maybe there's been a death or a divorce or a loss of job. And so hiring a professional home staging company that understands how to meet a home seller right where they're at, and then be patient with them and walk with them through the process and move them to action with what they need to do
with a plan. Yeah, with a specific plan. And I think
oftentimes homeowners will spend money where they don't necessarily need to spend money, right? So we just can help them. No, this is where, and we would only recommend what is going to give them a return on those investments. So,
I love that. Yeah, so it helps them focus too. So, love that. Okay, so outside of staging, what other types of services do you offer?
So we typically do the vacant. I know you said beyond staging, the occupied, we always start with a consultation. We do occupied staging. We do short-term rental setup. We'll do restyling and redesign.
Okay, so you can help people pass when they do, move into their new beautiful home with, paint selections, furniture acquisition, all of that, so they can kind of turnkey have that model ready looking home right when they move in.
And maybe right now, a new one, Christmas decorating. Let's help you decorate your tree or style the home with what you have.
Okay, I love
we have some girls on our team that love that, and we said, let's do that.
Yeah, I love that. We buy all this stuff and it always looks so good in the store. You bring it home, you're like, yeah, well, there's that too. So, okay, I love that. All right, so obviously there's a lot of different styles of homes. Are you guys able to customize to kind of the style of the existing home to bring out its best features? So you have a wide variety of options, or how does that work?
We always take into consideration the architecture of the home, the neighborhood, who will be the clients coming, who's today's buyer. Will it be a family? Will it be a young couple? Will it be an older couple looking in the neighborhood? What does the neighborhood offer? So Phoenix is very diverse in architecture and buyers, and trying to meet that. We also tend towards transitional, so it's not specific to one particular style.
Sure.
But we're wanting to appeal to the most buyers,
people.
the biggest pool.
So I think that really kind of again focuses on the fact that this is marketing.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people it's just staging is very different than decorating.
Yes. We always say decorating costs you money, staging makes you money, right?
I love that.
The decorating is a byproduct, the beauty is a byproduct of staging, but that's not the main goal.
It is a marketing technique.
Yeah, we use design principles in staging, but decorating is appealing to a personal style.
Yes.
Home staging is appealing to the masses. That's what we want to do.
With a goal in mind.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for showcasing this amazing stage for us and sharing all the great information about, the importance of staging. We really appreciate your time. So thank you guys once again for joining us. We hope you got a lot of value out of this interview. And if you have a small business that you would like featured, please feel free to reach out. And thanks once again.